What's up, everybody? This edition of the Rushville Recap is going to be tackling some new events we have going on downtown. We had a really busy week in the city of Rushville last week, but let's take it to Mike and Brian and see what's on the horizon for the city of Rushville.
Why, thank you, Nick, at Master Control. Nice to hear from you. Quick recap. We thought we would, as that's in the name, actually, the recap.
Yeah.
Thought we'd talk about and maybe thank some key players of this weekend. We had the parade, car show, fireworks, and the fair all happening at the same time. The fair including many track events, including the TQ Midgets, both Saturday and Sunday.
Demolition Derby on Friday.
Demolition Derby was huge on Friday, but maybe we can walk through that real quick. Mike, I know you were in the parade. I witnessed the parade go by, but it seemed like a pretty decent-sized parade of people ready and willing to get out and see other people.
Yeah, somebody said over the weekend that big Independence Day had to do with not the standard 4th of July thing, but it was more independence from COVID, which was kind of probably honest. But no, it went really, really well. Some new features that happened that I thought were really cool was before the parade started, they had actually a prayer for Sergeant Major Brown, which was something we've never had before, but I thought it was a nice touch. They had the
and you might let them know Sergeant Major Bob Brown, who has been the face of the Veterans Affairs
sure.
For quite some time. I think he's in his early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah.
And just had a surgery, I think, or a procedure this week, and working through that. But that's why he wasn't there. And I know he actually got out of surgery, and I think was trying to figure out how he was going to make the parade.
That is correct, but he did not make the parade.
No.
So he was headed towards rehab, I think, whenever the parade was going off.
So definitely our thoughts and prayers continue to be with Sergeant Major, just a super guy who's got some pretty amazing stories.
And so a couple other touches that they added to the parade. One was fire department put the big flag across Main Street, which I thought was a really cool touch. They did it just south of the city center, and then at the city center, I'm going to call it Jim Sterrett Big Band.
It was the big band, but yeah, they were geared up and out in front of the city center, which was a neat thing. As the parade, as people were waiting for the parade, they actually all turned their backs to Main Street and kind of were watching the band. And then when the parade started, they turned back around. So I think that was neat.
Yeah, and the high school band stopped at that location. They played the Star Spangled Banner together, which was really cool.
Absolutely. So again, thank you to everyone who participated in the parade and for all the people who helped set that up and get everybody lined up and everything. I thought they put on a nice show. And speaking of show, how about the car show?
Car show, I think, had the largest number of entries ever, maybe.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
There were several.
We should probably verify that with Chuck Kempker, but I think 215 maybe is the number that keeps sticking in my head. And the winner of the Mayor's Award was David Hamilton.
Okay.
David Hamilton. David's out of Arlington, Indiana, and his car was an orange 1971 Super Bee.
Very nice. And I know that's actually another one of those events that we sometimes take for granted, but it brings in a ton of people from outside of town that come and enjoy 4th of July festivities. And then my guess is they probably maybe go around and buy some food and gas and things like that around town. So works out nice. We also had the fireworks, which this year the fireworks were the biggest, I believe the biggest and best that we've ever had. I know that Sandy with the Chamber and John with Economic Development, John McCain, they put in a lot of work to raise money for the fireworks show, and we've continued. Last year was a big year. This year was another big year, and they're really working on getting next year's to be even bigger and better to celebrate the bicentennial. But again, your thoughts on the fireworks?
I thought they were great. I thought DJ Nick over there did a nice job with the soundtrack, so I thought that was kind of fun. No, I thought everybody that I've talked to, everybody that was there has given positive feedback on it. So I think it went really, really well. There were no incidents that I'm aware of. So
the only thing we heard a little bit about was at the very end, the music went on, and then there was like another finale. And basically what we were told happened is the finale was supposed to be two big chunks together, and they split from one another. So they did one, and then they did the other. But to the general observer, I think everybody thought, oh, wow, that was awesome. We just got a little bit of overtime on the fireworks. But I thought it was fun. My daughter was in Orlando. She went on a trip down there, and they watched them in Orlando. And she said, and this was judging from last year's fireworks, but she said Rush County's was better than what they saw. So cool. Had a lot of messages of people saying the same thing, that this year really looked good. So again, thank you to everyone. I know that is one of the things that John jumps into, kind of his baby, as well as the chamber. And they did, I think, a fantastic job on the fireworks. And then lastly, as all this stuff was going on, we had the fair going on from Saturday to Saturday. We talked a little bit about that, but
first couple of days, I think were hot, let's just say hot.
Yeah, very hot.
And then they kind of calmed down, and the weather got better. So I think it was, as far as weather-wise, it was a pretty good week for the fair. They appeared to have changed entertainment companies, so it was a different midway than I think we're used to, but I'm guessing, I don't know if they have a long-term contract, short-term contract, but I'm sure they'll work.
Well, I noticed, and I was going to ask them if that is an Indiana amusement group, because they had Indiana Downs on one of the rides. There was like horses, okay. And we looked up, and it looked like there might be an amusement company out of Henry County, maybe. So I don't know if that's the case or not. I might just be starting rumors, but something to check out. And then also, hopefully people had a chance to see the city's promotional TQ midget car. No reason to come grab it and try to drive it because it doesn't have an engine, but everything else is decked out as a TQ midget car would be. And
if you're going to try to steal it, you better have a trailer because it kind of has a flat tire.
Yes, we're working on that. But that's kind of a neat feature that we're trying to figure out ways to help promote some of those community-wide events we have. And that was an investment we made to, when you see that car roll out in front of the city center, that means stay tuned. There's likely going to be TQ midget races that week. So we just got through 2 more. I think they have another one in September, so stay tuned for that. And
there we go. We talked over each other.
Yeah.
One of the things I think we just need to run through, and that is a lot of these events wouldn't be possible without volunteers who put in a lot of their own private time. Obviously, the fair is the fair board. The parade is Chuck Kempker, who kind of organizes the day of. Sandy, who puts it on kind of the prep for it. The car show is obviously the Optimus car show. And then fireworks, and you talked about it, is, John and Sandy, the ECDC and the chamber kind of combo for that one. And then I think they just, at that point, once they're done, they turn it over to our interns, and the interns go out and deliver all their stuff. So a thanks to a lot of people who make those things happen.
Absolutely. And, you had a couple of those events that, certainly last year, coming back from having nothing for the most part on those. We did work on the fireworks last year, but for those to come back again this year, and then the car show to return and the fair. It was nice to see all that getting us back. And then moving into upcoming events, we've got a busy July with some really cool opportunities for entertainment here in Rushville. And I'll start July 17th. Mike, I think we have a concert coming in.
All My Rowdy Friends, Brian.
All My Rowdy Friends. Is it actually Hank Jr.?
No, it's true.
Okay, it's gonna be somebody pretending to be him. But anytime we pick a tribute band, we have worked with Andy Wilson and got someone out there that does a great job. So if you want to hear the songs of, I think it's safe to say classic country, Hank Jr., that'll be July 17th. July 24th will be a big day in Rushville. That is Libations by the Levee. If you remember, this will be the 4th year that we've done this, and last year it was really one of the first years, or one of the first events that tried to open up with a, how would you say, kind of a guarded opening. Yeah. I think instead of having what they normally do, they had like 250. They were limited on tickets. They did different things as far as how they poured. But Libations by the Levee will be back. That's 3 to 7 p.m., July 24th. And that will bring Indiana breweries, I believe breweries, wineries, and they even have some that's, if it's produced here in Indiana, a couple of liquors, I believe. And you can come. One ticket will get you into the festival, and at that point you can taste a variety of what's going on there.
And we give credit to this event for attracting Fish Moon.
Absolutely. Our goal was to start this event, one, to provide entertainment right here in Rushville in a beautiful setting, which is Riverside Park, but it also was to try to attract and lure that downtown brewery. And we met Thomas, I think, year 2. Year 3, Thomas was serving. And year 4, I think you'll probably see some connections down there, but they're up and running, and people can visit them before or after the actual event. So, again, excited for that. That's the 4th time it'll be here in town. That's run by Indiana on Tap. And if you go out and Google Indiana on Tap and check for Rushville, or you can just take 2021 Libations by the Levee, and you can get out to their ticket site. If you buy those in advance, you will save some money, so it makes sense to get out there if you think you're going to go. Next up, who would have thought a few years ago, Mayor, that we'd have Shakespeare in the Park?
I would have thought it.
and not that locals doing Shakespeare in the Park would be a bad thing, but this is actually a group out of Boston. I believe it was Brown Box Theater. They found they wanted to come out here and do, I think, about 20 shows throughout Indiana. One of the people in Brown Box is from Indiana. And interestingly enough, they searched different venues that were in the state, and they selected Rushville based on seeing Riverside Park, what it looked like, and wanted to do a show here. They've reached out to us, and our Arts Council, Imagination, which is now working out of the Booker T. Washington Center, they really worked out the details, found the funding, and they will be supporting that. So pay attention, July 30th, Shakespeare in the Park. It's Much Ado About Nothing is the title, and there will be some opportunities that if you've got some young actors, actresses, thespians out there that would like to learn more, I think they can interact with the group as well. So that'll be Friday, July 30th, and then Saturday, July 31st, the very next day. I mean, it's like we're running Deer Creek or something here. Tear down and set back up the next day with somebody new.
I hate to tell you this, but Deer Creek was like 20.
That's all right. That's my listeners still understand what that means. Nobody. Do you even know what it's named now?
No.
Rulon.
Rulon. It was Clips for a while. Yeah. You can't change the names every 2 years and expect people to know it. But tell us a little bit about that one, Mike. Do you got any detail on that one?
That one is the Flying Buffaloes, and the Flying Buffaloes are really the Flying Buffaloes. They are replacing, originally we had scheduled the Red Clay Strays.
That is correct.
And so due to some type of a conflict, Red Clays had to reschedule or had to change schedule, and the Flying Buffaloes are the substitute.
And this is what I would call more of like kind of a regional / national act, I believe, that does kind of the red dirt country, I think is what they are. And so the same people manage both of these. So I think they're very aware that we're not dropping off a tremendous amount. And, we're really just kind of switching over to a different group that does the same kind of thing. They'll be here July 31st and excited to see that. And then lastly is one that I think around here sometimes you've got a huge following. The Pioneer Steam Show this year will be August 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And that's really kind of a cool tradition that's been here. Originally, they used to be out east on 44. I believe they've been doing this now for 55, 60 years, somewhere in that range.
We're just making up numbers today.
Making them up. If we're not close, Aaron Kuhn will correct us. But it's been a long time. And it is one of the largest and one of the oldest events of its kind. And I think sometimes we kind of think around here, well, everybody's got TQ midget races, or everybody's got a steam engine show, and everybody's got a St. Patrick's Day event, and they don't. So this is one of those events that we're really working hard to tie into better and welcome their guests that come from all over the country into our downtown, which I think has a lot more to offer than certainly it did 5 years ago. But give the listeners that maybe have never been there, what can you expect when you go to the steam engine show?
Oh, you go fried chicken is one of the things you can expect when you go to the steam engine show.
First thing out of his mouth is fried chicken.
A lot of people are going to say the steam engines, but the fried chicken, you'll see where the mayor's
Mayor Mike's list of steam engine attractions. Fried chicken won. Everything else
that has to do with I've worked the fried chicken.
No, I understand.
But yeah, you're right. There are steam engines there.
They do have those. There's always kind of the what would you call that? Flea market kind of
campground. All that takes place out there. So
Spark Show. For those that don't know, Spark Show. I'm not sure exactly what makes it. I'm not into that. But you throw something in the old pipe that comes out of the old tractor, and it shoots up like fireworks. But that's supposedly, or not supposedly, it is something that's very cool to see if you're there in the evening. But they have expanded it 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. There's also an old covered bridge that's been restored on the grounds. They've really done a nice job of creating a little almost like a little village.
It's the legendary covered bridge that got washed out into a pasture and sat there for years, and then they found that, oh my gosh, that was a covered bridge, so they picked it up and relocated it. And
I believe it had the name Mud Creek somewhere in it, but I could be wrong. I think it was out in Homer.
If we're making up any information, it's not intentional.
No. This to tell you, it's really just about sharing what we think we know.
We'll include a disclaimer track at the end where we make any and all corrections.
Well, we need to remember, historian Jim Scott here locally had a phrase that was very well known, which was, "It has been said." He didn't say by who or if it was true. He just said, "It has been said." So,
and on the 8th is the only night that we kind of have a conflict because we have a rescheduled concert that was canceled because of the rain earlier this year. So
that'd be the 8th or the 7th. Be like whichever is a Saturday.
Yeah, the 7th.
Okay, 7th.
So that will be slippery when wet. So,
and we do work really hard not to step on anyone's toes when we do some of those, and unfortunately, but we have had. I remember we had an Irish group come in one time, and there were several people that came in from the steam show for the concert and then returned back out for their camping. So could work out either way. But yes, you're right. I didn't even have that one on my list. Nice work.
A lot of homework done.
What a catch by Mayor Mike there.
Yeah, so a lot just happened. We've got a lot coming up, and we do strongly suggest if you want to help us continue to grow these events and our community, when you see these out there, see people posting that there are different events going on, share them, let your friends know outside the community what's going on, and invite them to participate here in Rushville. And all those guests that come into town usually will spend a few dollars and help out local businesses, and that whole thing helps churn the engine, which is small town economy. So we'd appreciate your help on promoting those events and others. At this point, I think I'm going to throw it over to Big Nick here, who can lead us out.
Shakespeare says to be or not to be, but I'm telling you, there will be a lot of action in Rushville these upcoming weeks. So stay tuned, get out, and have some fun. That is it for this edition of the Rushville Recap.